A lot of people think that the Florida craze is over, especially when it comes to real estate. However, Realtor.com just came out and said that the Miami Fort Lauderdale real estate market is poised to be one of the hottest in all of 2025. They actually ranked us at number 2. But what's going on here in the Fort Lauderdale market today? Because our sales are down, but median prices are up for single family, while median prices for condos and townhomes are down. So what in the world is really going on here in Fort Lauderdale? Let's take a look. We're gonna look at all property types. Then we'll break it down by single family homes. Then we'll break it down by condos and townhomes to give you guys a better idea of what's really going on, whether you're looking to sell your home, you're looking to move here, or even invest in the Fort Lauderdale market. However, before we do that, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest anywhere here in Fort Lauderdale or South Florida in general, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. We have people just like you who reach out every single day, whether they're looking to sell their home, they're looking to move here, they're looking to invest and maybe buy a second home here on the water, and even sometimes just for restaurant and popping things to do recommendations. So if that sounds like you can call us, text us, email us, even drop a comment down below. Whatever's easiest for you, we got you. But now let's dive in. Let's take a deeper look at what's going on here in Fort Lauderdale, and let's kind of see where we're really headed going into 2025. All right, now we got the MLS pulled up, so let's take a look at what's really going on here. So we're gonna go back to January of 2023, and then we're gonna end it at today of December 2024. And we'll kind of just run through the list. So let's start off with the active listings, the number of, so for both single family and condos and townhomes, just in the Fort Lauderdale, like in Fort Lauderdale. We won't talk about like Pompano and Oakland Park yet. So as you can see, we're slowly starting to increase here in 2024, or 2024, yep. So we went from 2,700, slowly ticking up, 2,800, 2,900. Now we're at almost 3,000 across all property types. Compared to this time last year, we were at about 2,200. So we're starting to get more and more activity. Now, it's not across, like when we start to look now, between single family and condos and townhomes, it's a big, big difference. So we'll go single family first. So we're still ticking up, but we're at about 1,000, maybe 1,100 units. And like we've been kind of sitting there all year in 2024 compared to like last year, about this time, we were about 900, 900, 900, 800. So we're up about 200 units for single family, but where the big kicker is with condos and townhomes. Like look at that graph, just whoop, straight on up. So we're at almost 2,000 active listings with condos and townhomes right now. We've kind of just slowly increased, starting at 1,500, 16, 17, 18, about 1,900, now sitting about 1,900. Compared to last year, we're about 900. Then near the end of the year, we started to tick up over 1,000. This time last year, about 1,300. So it's about a 700 unit difference. And a lot of that, like we've talked about before, has to do with the association dues increasing, having fully funded reserve funds and assessments, and people are starting to finally weigh their options because they know going into 2025, they have to have fully funded reserve funds. Everything has to be kind of taken care of. And they're like, all right, you know, this holding cost is just too much for me. Let's just see if we can offload it, roll the money into something different. Or, you know, what some savvy investors and what we'll talk about is they're starting to realize, all right, this is what it's going to cost. Now, should we go in and kind of buy it, look at it as an appreciation play, tax shelter, possible rental? So there's a lot of different moving pieces. Now let's look at the days to sell. So we'll start off with condos and townhomes. So this is the median. I honestly like the average, so let's do the average. So as you can see, it's slowly starting to tick up. I know right now we're at 96, but on average, we're looking at about 100, 120 days. It's not uncommon to even see 180 days for condos and townhomes. Compared to this time last year, we were sitting at about 70-ish days, 75 days. People are asking a lot of money for some of them and they're just not making sense. Plus, a lot of times when you'll see it, like we have one right now, it's finding ways to stand out within the building. So we have a listing in Aventura, for example. We're one of 23 or 24 listings that are currently active. So it's number one, not giving the property away, but number two, drawing attention to it, showing the value within that property, and being able to get it sold at the end of the day and putting the most money in the seller's pocket. Now on the flip side of things, on the buyer side, the more you sit, the more desperate some sellers could get. So there could be a lot of opportunity there. Now, if we switch back here and look at single family is kind of all over the place. It does kind of get skewed because, you know, we have some of these larger properties on the water that can really be cash only versus things like that. But on average, we're looking at about, I'd say about 70-ish days, 75 days, up about 10, 15 days compared to this time of last year. Compared apples to apples, December across, 10 days. If we're looking November, we're up to what, 13, 14, 24 days, 14 days in October. So like we're slowly creeping up, but like we said, we have more inventory, so it's slowly becoming a buyer's market, so things are starting to sit a little bit. Plus, I think finally sellers are starting to realize that, like, hey, this isn't 2020 and 2021. You can't just throw a number out there and hope that someone from New York or California comes in and buys it cash. People are, starting to get back to reality. Now, this is where it becomes interesting. We're looking at the number of expired listings. Now, I will say on the single family side, it's not anything drastic. We're pretty comparable. I mean, look, October was exactly the same, 48 to 48, November 43 to 48. We actually have less now in December this year than we did last year. But the real kicker is condos and townhomes. And we do expired prospecting every morning. And I can tell you, we see a ton of condos and townhomes. And this really only shows the expired. So it doesn't show the withdrawns and canceled. Right now, look at it, 100, 125, 112, 112, 105. Then we dip down to 86, 84. Compared to this time last year, 46, 42, 60, 45, 49, 42, 76 to 84 in December. Like, usually things expire January 1st. So, it's kind of, it skews it a little bit, but we're definitely creeping up there when it comes to the condos and townhome side of things. Now, let's go ahead and look at our months of inventory. So we'll look at just condos and townhomes. Jesus, 24 months of supply right now in December. And granted, we're nearing the end of the month, but you can see we've just creeped up all year. I mean, April, May, we dipped down 1 month of supply, but look, 10, 11, 12, 15, 14, 16, 24. And even last year, we were starting to tick upwards. And that just goes to show everything that's going on with the condo market. Now, I will say on the flip side of things with the condo market, we're getting a ton of new construction condos coming. And I'm actually working on a video for you guys about, number one, my favorite building coming here to Fort Lauderdale, which is on Bell, by the way. It's unreal. You'll see when we put together that video. But also some of these other buildings. I mean, we have a ton of buildings in the works. And by 2030, the entire skyline of not only Fort Lauderdale, but Pompano is going to be completely different. So many luxury brands coming. A lot of stuff from Miami moving up. It's going to be sweet. But now let's look at the single family side of things in terms of months of inventory. You see a spike obviously in December, people starting to get ready for the springtime, but we're still teetering around the same, about 7 months of supply. Last year we were around 6-7 months of supply. So just right over equilibrium, kind of more so towards a buyer's market on the single family side, but nothing crazy like that of condos and townhomes. And now your most favorite one. Let's look at, screw it. Let's look at our average sales price, and then we'll come back and look at our median sales price. So average sales prices, you're over $1 million. It's for single family. There's no other way to put it. Now, are there homes not over $1 million for Oh yeah, 100%. But a lot of these homes on the water kind of skew the average. You did have that 1 month in October where we were at 991,000. But look at this time last year, definitely up a little bit. But overall, I mean, still at about 1.1 to 1.3 range in terms of the average. Oh, not original. Let's look at median. This is just single family. Now our median comes back and there are plenty of homes at this price point. So our median right now, $700,000. Plenty of homes at that price point. Honestly, plenty of homes in the $500,000 to $600,000 price point. I will say one thing to keep in mind though, at this price point, a lot of them are needing roofs, so that's something to keep in mind. But we are seeing more and more that have kind of updated their roof. Now the kitchen needs updating or other things, but they have a new roof, and I'd rather do the kitchen myself and what I really want than have someone who completely redid the kitchen and everything else, but then they're leaving me stuck with the roof bill. So I'd much rather have it that way. And as you can see, year over year, I mean, last year, 525,000 was our median. Now, the same time, 700,000. Even last month, 500,000 compared to 602,000 in single family. So we're up quite a bit. I mean, October we were down a little bit, but we're starting to creep back up on the single family side. Now, if we switch it to condos and townhomes, we'll just look at the median for condos and townhomes. And here we go. So we did have quite a time where we were at peaked at about 485 this year, technically 497, and slowly started to tick down. We started to go back up, then tick back down, then started just, it felt like for a while there in this fall, I was like, oh man, where's the bottom for this? But now we're starting to come up a little bit. So right around that $400,000 mark. And that's what I was saying before. I think people and investors started to realize that number one, we know what these association fees are going to be, but number two, we know what assessments are going to be. And we can find and finagle ways where we're going to have the seller pay it. And this way we can get into some of these units, whether it's as an end user or even as an investor. But overall, I mean, we're still down compared to this time last year. Going even all the way back to, July. So July median was 450, we were at 440, 425, 3. we're still down year over year. So there is some opportunity there on the condo side. But now let's kind of look at what does this mean for us really heading forward? Okay, that's great, but where does this really mean that Fort Lauderdale is headed in 2025? So I do kind of agree with the Realtor.com study / announcement that Fort Lauderdale is going to be one of the hotter real estate markets, not only Florida, but the entire United States. As you can see with single family, we are kind of in a buyer's market. We're still right there, like just teetering above equilibrium. So there's a lot of opportunity there for buyers, especially people who want to live on the water, as we start to figure out some of these insurance issues that have gone on throughout the entire state. Granted, a lot of people who do buy on the water opt to self-insure instead of getting insurance because they're not getting mortgages. Now, I do think the big opportunity though in Fort Lauderdale will be on the condo and townhome side. We're starting to see, as you saw, prices are starting to tick up. There's a lot of savvy investors who are starting to be like, okay, we know where association fees are going to be at. We know where assessments are going to be at. We know like insurance going into 2025, 2026. This is our opportunity to pick up these units for appreciation purposes, tax shelter purposes, or even true rental property purposes. So there's a lot of opportunity there. On the flip side of things with condos, I think the biggest thing is these luxury condos coming to the Fort Lauderdale and Pompano area. Think about it. Pompano's having the W, Ritz-Carlton, Waldorf Astoria, Armani residences. Fort Lauderdale's got Pier 66, Celine. There's an unannounced Ritz coming. There's the St. Regis Bahia Mar residences on Dare, on Bell. I mean, there is a ton of stuff being built. We are slowly seeing all those buildings from Miami move up this way, and that's really helping to transform not only our condo market, but also the skyline in general. So I'm very, very bullish on that front, especially if you can get in at pre-construction pricing. But don't worry, working on that video for you guys now. But like I said before, if there's anything we can do to help you guys, you have any questions about specific neighborhoods, specific markets within the Fort Lauderdale area, or even specific buildings, drop a comment below, shoot me a call, text me, email me, whatever's easiest for you. I got you on that front. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest anywhere here in Fort Lauderdale or South Florida in general, we help people just like you every single day. Like I said, they're reaching out on restaurant recommendations, places where, like I had a guy who reached out the other day. He was literally asking, where's the best place to get Corona on draft? Answer, the Cove and Deerfield Beach. I don't really know anywhere else where you get Corona on draft. Personally, I get it in a bottle, but besides the point. So like I said, anything you need, we're here for you guys. You can call us, email, text us, whatever's easiest for you, we got you.